If we go ahead and start, awesome. The 24-25 Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, or the CAPER public hearing, is being delivered by the California Department of Housing and Community Development, or HCD, within the Community Development Branch, which is a part of the Division of Federal Financial Assistance, or the DFFA. Next slide, please. So quickly, we'll go over some housekeeping items. Just note that all participant lines have automatically been set to mute and camera off. For any questions or comments, please use the raise hand feature located at the bottom of your screen, and we will address your questions in a timely manner. You may also use the chat feature located at the bottom of the screen, and comments on the CAPER will be saved as public record. We will also periodically pause for questions, comments, or feedback, and we will have time at the end of the presentation for this as well. I mentioned this already, but this meeting is being recorded for purposes of being available to you later on our website, and this recording, along with the slides in PDF format, will be available in a couple of days. Lastly, if you would like the closed caption on, you can click on the icon at the bottom of your screen to show captions. Next slide, please. Today we have a lot of good information to cover, and we couldn't have this information available if it wasn't for our presenters. The HUD reporting team will act as your host, and the program team speakers will speak on program highlights and outcomes. You do not have to address the specific speaker in your question. We will read the question aloud, and the person responsible for that information will respond. Next slide, please. On the agenda today, we will have an introduction and background that will tell a little more about what the CAPER is, look at the goals and accomplishments for the 24-25 year, which includes resources and investments, affordable housing, program highlights, and this is where the program teams will paint a picture of what they did this year. And then we'll cover how to make comments, to ask questions, and then finally we will open the floor for questions and comments to be addressed live in this meeting. Next, Luke will introduce you to the CAPER. Luke?
Thank you, Samantha. So next we'll dive into why we are here. Next slide, please. The Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, otherwise known as the CAPER, reports on the progress made during fiscal year 24 toward the goals laid out in the 2020 to 2024 Consolidated Plan. The CAPER will cover that reporting period from July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. Based on the participation requirements from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, otherwise known as HUD, we will hold a 15-day public comment period, which is open now from August 27th through September 11th. The final requirement is that HCD's CAPER must be submitted to HUD by September 30th, 2025. Next slide, please. So next we'll go into a little bit of background about the CAPER and we'll break it down. Next slide. So the CAPER report outlines the outcomes and achievements of the state of California programs that are funded by HUD. The CAPER reports on federally funded program resources, expenditures, activities, and recipients of funding. The CAPER also discusses the state's actions in reducing homelessness, addressing obstacles to increase the supply of affordable housing, meeting needs and reducing poverty, and other actions that further the goals and objectives listed in the state's FY 24 to 25 Annual Action Plan. Grantees that are required to complete an annual action plan must also submit a CAPER, which is tied to what the goals were in the associated action plan. In this case, we're reporting again on fiscal year 24, July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025, which ties back into the 2024 to 2025 annual action plan. The CAPER covers programs CDBG, CDBG-CV, ESG and ESG-CV, Home ARP, NHTF, and HOPWA. Next slide, please. The CAPER is divided into sections, and we've simplified what's contained in each section. So for example, CR05 through CR20 is designated for the data that was collected via the program teams for their jurisdictions. CR25 through CR40 is for the actions taken during this reporting year. Next slide, please. This slide, we have the sections referencing outcomes of the actions taken. Along with the general outcomes, we also are required to carve out ESG outcomes specifically for their funding. And next, Fareed will take us through CR05 and what we have reported in the CAPER. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. Welcome to the CR05 Goals and Accomplishments section. This part of the presentation will outline our goals and progress we have made over the fiscal year. Since this is the final CAPER for the 2020-2024 comp plan, it will also cover the outcome over the past 5 years. Next slide, please. Let's start with addressing and preventing homelessness. We expended around 10.1 million from ESG, 2.4 million from home, and 3.2 million from HOPWA. We assisted around 2,834 households with TBRA, rapid housing, including 2,399 from ESG, 401 from home, and 34 from HOPWA. Over 5 years, we assisted 13,846 households. We provided overnight shelters to 18,217 persons, including 18,136 from ESG and 81 from HOPWA, totaling 88,399 over 5 years. We prevented homelessness for 856 persons, including 211 from ESG and 645 from HOPWA, totaling 3,798 over 5 years. Additionally, we supported 8 households housing units for HIV/AIDS operations, totaling 2,083 over 5 years. Next slide, please. Next, for economic development opportunities, we expended around 2.8 million from CDBG. We created or retained 279 jobs, totaling 942 over 5 years. We have assisted 69 businesses, totaling 217 over 5 years. Next slide, please. Moving on to increasing housing affordability, we expended around 8.9 million from CDBG, 7 million from home, and 18.1 million from HTF. We constructed 101 rental units, including 28 from home and 73 from National Housing Trust Fund, or HTF, totaling 823 over 5 years. Rental units rehabilitated, totaling 279 over 5 years. We rehabilitated 29 homeowner housing units, including 23 from CDBG and 6 from home, totaling 348 over 5 years. We did not add homeowner housing units this year, but 171 units were added over 5 years. We provided direct financial assistance to 24 home buyers, including 13 from CDBG and 11 from home, totaling 327 over 5 years. Next slide, please. For maintaining and improving access to public services, we expended around 4.5 million from CDBG. We assisted 37,835 persons with public service activities other than low and moderate income housing benefit, totaling 213,044 over 5 years. For maintaining or improving public facilities and infrastructure, we expended around 17.9 million from CDBG. We assisted 165,676 persons with public facility or infrastructure activities other than low and moderate income housing benefits, totaling 839,528 over 5 years. Next slide, please. Finally, let's look at CDBG CV. For addressing and preventing homelessness, we expended around 16.5 million. By the end of 2024 program year, construction on most projects had been completed. Unit occupancy is currently underway with tenants moving in a rolling basis. Accordingly, the state expects to report the associated housing accomplishment during the 2025-2026 program year. For economic development, we expended 1.8 million, created or retained 187 jobs, and assisted 35 businesses. For maintaining or improving access to public services, we expended around 7.1 million, assisting 155,600 persons. For maintaining or improving public facilities and infrastructure, we expended around 7.9 million, assisting 81,358 persons. Next, Don from HUD reporting team will go over CR15 resources and investment sections. Thank you.
Hi, thank you, Fareed. Next is CR15, which is the key section in the CAPER that summarizes the financial resources made available and how they were utilized across various federal programs during the fiscal year of 24. Next slide. Okay, so the amounts in Table 3, resources made available, reflect the exact amount and auto-populates from the fiscal year 24-25 annual action plan into the CAPER. The amount expended during program year reflects total expenditures during administration costs for fiscal year 24. The first column lists the federal programs that received funding. The second column shows the total resources made available, including annual allocations, program income, and any unallocated resources from previous years. The third column shows the dollar amount expended for each program during the program year. So for the CDBG program, approximately 50 million was made available and over 38.4 million expended during the program year. For our home program, 37 million was made available, with about 32.3 million expended. For HAPWA, 9 million was made available, $3.6 million expended. The ESG program, 14 million made available, with about 11.6 million expended. For Housing Trust Fund, 21 million was made available, 22.7 million was expended. And for other, which includes CDBG DR for 2017, 2018, 2023, and the National Disaster Resilience, 110 was made available, 169 expended during the program year. Next slide, please. All right, the next section is section CR20, which is affordable housing. All right. So the table on the next two slides reports the number of households provided with affordable housing through the Community Development Block Grant Program, Home Investment Partnerships Program, Housing Trust Fund, Emergency Solutions Grant, and Housing Opportunities for Person with AIDS, which is HAPWA. This includes short-term rent, mortgage or utility assistance, rapid rehousing, tenant-based rental assistance, or HIV housing operations. And the number of homeless households to be provided affordable housing units for the year. The year's goal was 3,300 households. The actual number was 2,472, which was provided by ESG and HTF programs. The number of non-homeless households to be provided affordable housing units, 1-year goal, was 786 households. The amount was 482 households provided by the CDBG and home programs. The number of special needs households to be provided affordable housing units, 1-year goal, was 610 households, with the actual number of households being 760 provided by CAPER program. Next, please. All right, moving on. We're continuing with section CR 20. The number of households supported through rental assistance goal was 3,885 households, and the actual number 3,560, which was provided by ESG home and HAPA programs. The number of households supported through production of new units goal was 480 households, actual number being 101 households from the home and HTF programs. The number of households supported through rehab of existing units goal for the year was 191 households, and the number supported was 29, which was provided by CDBG and home programs. And finally, the number of households supported through acquisition of existing units, yearly goal was 140 households. The actual number was 24, provided by CDBG and home programs. All right. Next, we'll have the program highlights from CDBG program, and Crystal will introduce that. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Dawn.
You're
Good afternoon. I'm CDBG specialist, Crystal White, and I'm going to discuss with you some CDBG program highlights from fiscal year 2024. During the FY24, the state CDBG program made available $50,465,955, and the CDBG program expended during the program year $38,472,931. Expenditures were made across two broad categories: affordable housing as well as non-housing community development. When we're looking at affordable housing, examples of programs administered by grantees are the owner-occupied rehabilitation programs, multi-unit rehabilitation programs, as well as first-time home buyer. When we're discussing non-housing community development goals, we are talking about grantees constructing public facilities and infrastructure projects, administering public services such as senior meals programs, as well as economic development projects. Next slide, please. Thank you. Additional program highlights in housing during the program year, grantees provided 39 low-mod income households with programming. With economic development, 348 businesses were assisted and jobs retained during the program year. Public services were provided to 37,835 low-mod income persons, as well as with public improvements in infrastructure was provided to 165,676 LMI persons. Thank you. Next slide, please. As an example of a success story, we'd like to point out of a CDBG project was the construction of a fire station and cooling center in the Colonia of Imperial County. The County of Imperial leveraged community development block grant funds to construct a dual-purpose fire station and cooling center in Sealy, a designated Colonia community. This 4,375 square foot facility houses the Imperial County Fire Department, featuring accommodations such as bays for 2 fire trucks, sleeping quarters, bathrooms, a kitchen, and other essential amenities. Additionally, the facility contains a 975 square foot cooling center and restroom designed to provide a safe refuge for residents during periods of severe heat. Summer temperatures frequently reach between 110 to 120 degrees in Imperial County, putting low to moderate income residents at risk, many of whom cannot afford to maintain or replace HVAC systems. The cooling center with the capacity to shelter up to 56 people will serve as a critical resource during extreme heat events, power outages, and natural disasters, ensuring the safety and well-being of vulnerable community members. So with the project funding, it was $6.1 million of grant funds, plus Sealy County, County of Imperial had PI funds of $529,000 for a total project impact of $6.633 million. Very successful and very well needed. Thank you. And Michael, I can hand this off to you now.
Thank you, Crystal. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mike Phillips, a Federal Program Specialist at HCD. I oversee the CDBG CV program, which is a one-time allocation of CDBG funds that was authorized under the CARES Act. CDBG funds are meant to prevent, prepare for, or respond to the coronavirus. Next slide, please. Alrighty, on this slide, we have a number of accomplishments for the CDBG CV program. Since launch, CDBG CV has assisted over 237,000 people in California. To date, we have assisted more than 155,000 individuals through public services. CDBG CV grantees supported 50 economic development programs throughout the state. We continued development of 32 permanent housing multifamily developments, and the majority of these are complete and currently being leased up. And lastly, created or improved access to public facilities for more than 81,000 individuals across the state. And in FY 2024, CDBG CV grantees expended approximately $35.5 million on eligible activities, planning, and administration. Next slide, please. Okay. On this slide, we wanted to share a few of our projects and programs. The first is the City of Exeter's Business Assistance Program that assisted 5 small businesses impacted by COVID-19, which helped create or retain jobs through forgivable loans. Next is the County of Tullaire's Home Key Rehabilitation. The county converted a former motel into 22 permanent housing units for individuals experiencing homelessness. Next is the City of Arvin's. The City of Arvin was awarded funds for their Homeless Navigation Center, which provided various supportive services for over 100 individuals experiencing homelessness. And last is the City of Dunsmuir's Subsistence Payment Program, which provided emergency rent, mortgage, and utility assistance to 374 households. And this is just a small snapshot of CDBG CV. These were just 4 of the total 270 awards made under the CDBG CV program. Next slide, please. And with that, I'll pass it over to Anthony from our ESG team. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Michael. I appreciate it. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anthony Zepeda, and I serve as a specialist for the Emergency Solutions Grant Program. The Emergency Solutions Grant Program, it's a mouthful to say, so we just call it the ESG program, is designed to assist individuals and families experiencing homelessness or at risk of homelessness by providing funding for essential services and housing stability. The ESG program provides funding through 5 key components: street outreach, emergency shelter, homelessness prevention, rapid rehousing, and homeless management information systems. Next slide, please. As noted on the current slide, for the fiscal year 24 reporting period, the HCD ESG program served approximately 22,000 Californians and expended $11.6 million. The program assisted over 18,000 persons through the emergency shelter and street outreach components, and over 3,800 persons through the rapid rehousing program. It's just a very brief overview of the ESG program in fiscal year 24. I will now hand it over to Connie, who will go over the ESG CV highlights.
Thanks, Anthony. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Connie Malavia, a program specialist with HCD. Next, we're going to move on to funding awarded under the Emergency Solutions Grant Program Coronavirus Grant, or ESG-CV. It was a one-time funding allocation under the CARES Act funding. Similar to annual ESG, the ESG-CV program also provided grant funding to approved units of general purpose local government and continuums of care, or COCs. The ESG-CV program provided funding to prevent, prepare for, and respond to the coronavirus among individuals and families who experienced homelessness or who were receiving homeless assistance. It also supported additional homeless assistance and homeless prevention activities to mitigate the impacts created by coronavirus. The ESG-CV grant closed on June 30th, 2024. Next slide, please. The ESG-CV program had 49 subrecipients with executed contracts that utilized ESG-CV funds to prepare for, prevent, respond to COVID-19. This included awards to 7 tribal entities for use within their tribal communities for households experiencing homelessness. HCD worked with ICF Consulting to provide training, technical assistance, and support to our subrecipients throughout the grant period. ICF also published our California ESG Subrecipient Program Manual, the HCD Tribal Nations Handbook, as well as several policy and procedural manuals and checklists for each ESG component. These documents can be found on our HCD ESG website. HCD and its ESG subrecipients expended the entire $319.5 million ESG-CV grant. Next slide, please. Funding from the ESG-CV grant assisted over 25,000 people in securing permanent housing through rapid rehousing. Over 52,000 people received emergency shelter services, 21,000 people received street outreach services, and over 800 people that were at risk of losing their housing received homelessness prevention assistance. California's ESG-CV grant assisted over 100,000 people experiencing homelessness during the COVID-19 pandemic. Next slide, please. To highlight how ESG-CV uplifted communities, we want to highlight the County of Riverside. Their 2025 point-in-time count, or PIT, revealed a 19% reduction in unsheltered homelessness. ESG-CV funds allowed Riverside to create flexible, scalable interventions that met people where they were, on the streets, in shelters, or exiting institutions. The county's ESG-CV funded programs assisted 1,413 individuals transition into permanent housing. This is a critical marker of long-term stability. And an additional 538 people were connected to temporary housing placements. ESG-CV funds enabled Riverside to provide services to over 5,400 individuals experiencing homelessness through a comprehensive, coordinated system of care. And this, again, is just one of many wonderful examples of how important that ESG-CV funding was to get folks in permanent housing and to get them shelter. We'll now turn the time over to Kelly to present the home program highlights. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Connie. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kelly Underwood. I'm the Section Chief for the Housing Policy and Program Administration Branch. Let's look at some of the Home Investment Partnership Program highlights. Next slide. In December of 2024, Home released a NOFA for the approximately $35 million 2024 HUD home allocation. The NOFA included a 50% target for funding rural areas and a 20% funding target for Native American entities. For project activities, the NOFA was oversubscribed by 55 million and was undersubscribed by 8.5 million for program activities. Due to this undersubscription of program activities, the 2024 NOFA is in the process of being amended to extend the application due date until the next NOFA or when the funds have been exhausted, whichever occurs first. The amended NOFA will be over the counter for both local government agencies and Native American entities. Awards for this NOFA will be continuous for program activities and Native American entity project activities. For non-Native American entity project activities, awards will be made in December of 2025. The state home program has a matching requirement of 1.3 million, and the state exceeded this amount by more than 28 million. The total home grant and program income expenditure for fiscal year 2024 for both open and completed activities, including administration, was a little over 32 million. Next slide. This chart notes the activity type, expenditures by activity type, and the units completed or assisted by activity type. According to this chart, home projects completed 28 units, and home programs assisted 418 households. And now I'll pass it over to Soledad Sandoval.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Kelly. I'm Soledad Sandoval, one of the managers here in the project origination branch, and I am on the project side of the home program. And I'm so pleased to be able to share one of our success stories. And so we have several projects that have completed successfully, and one of them that we're sharing with you today is Corazon del Valle Commons. It is located in the city of Huron in Fresno County. This is a multi-family rental new construction. We have 30 home assisted units here. And the target population for this project was family households and farm workers. Family households and farm workers are earning only up to 60% of the area median income. The project itself has 10 one-bedroom apartments, 24 two-bedroom apartments, and 16 three-bedroom apartments, and 10 four-bedroom apartments. On-site amenities include a leasing office, a spacious community room that's open to all the tenants, and a maintenance shop. The shopping, a grocery store, schools, public transportation are all within 1 mile of the project. So we're very proud to be able to share this with you today. Thank you. And I now pass it on to the program highlights for National Housing Trust by Ling Tran.
Thank you, Soledad, and good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Mylene Tran, Section Chief with the Federal Loan Closing Branch. Next slide, please. Let's go ahead and get started with some NHTF program highlights. The state has implemented and approved an NHTF allocation plan, which includes all NHTF activities that are restricted to multifamily rental housing to extremely low income households with incomes no greater than 30% area median income. In the last year, HCD provided over 18.1 million of NHTF funding to permanently finance 2 multifamily rental housing developments that produced 135 units in aggregate, inclusive of 73 NHTF assisted units. Affordable housing developments often have layered funding, with each funding supporting a different unit type. NHTF will support units that serve extremely low income households, and so often there are both NHTF and non-NHTF assisted units in a development. However, the entire development wouldn't be possible without the deep subsidy NHTF provides to our most vulnerable population. We'd like to take this time to recognize and thank our internal and external development teams for their collaboration in successfully meeting NHTF deadlines for the 2 developments we'll be featuring. Next slide, please. Our first program success is CAPER Senior Apartments, a newly constructed development located in Santa Clara. The project offers 80 units with AMIs ranging between 20 to 50%. The project includes 46 units supported by Housing for Healthy California, also known as HHC, a program funded by NHTF, designed to serve individuals and families that are chronically homeless or experiencing homelessness and high-cost health users. The unit mix features 30 studios, 45 one-bedroom, 4 two-bedrooms, and 1 two-bedroom management unit. Additionally, the development includes 8 units offering Veteran Affairs Supportive Housing Vouchers, also known as VASH vouchers, and 33 units offering HUD rent subsidy vouchers. Next slide, please. The development is designed to provide opportunities for community engagement and interaction. There's also an on-site manager, supportive services, and case management. Some of the amenities include a rooftop terrace, a large community room, and a computer lab. The project is also located within walking distance to public transit. Next slide, please. Our second success story is the My Angel development, which is located in Los Angeles, where affordable housing is greatly needed. The development offers 53 HHC assisted studios and a 2-bedroom management unit with affordability levels ranging from 25 to 60% AMI. Additionally, the development includes 24 units offering VASH vouchers and 29 units offering project-based vouchers. Next slide, please. My Angel also features on-site management, supportive services, and case management. The development also has 2 spacious outdoor courtyards providing opportunities for resident engagement. Additional amenities include a large community room, exercise room, and a technology center. This concludes the NHTF program highlights. Next, we have Alexis, and she will be presenting housing opportunities for persons with AIDS program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mylin, and hi, everyone. I will now discuss the program highlights for the Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS program. This is otherwise known as the HOPWA program. The HUD reporting team has collaborated with the HOPWA program team from the California Department of Public Health to obtain this information. The HOPWA program funds housing assistance as well as supportive services designed to reduce or prevent homelessness for low-income persons living with HIV, otherwise known as PLWH. During the fiscal year 2024 to 2025, HOPWA served 632 households with housing assistance, that is, assistance with rent, mortgage, utility, move-in, shelter, and facility or operating costs. HOPWA also served 775 households with supportive services relating to food, transportation, and case management. They served 259 households with housing location and information assistance. I will now move on to the next slide to discuss where to find the draft 2024 to 2025 CAPER on the HCD website. So as you can see from this slide, here's the information on where to find this year's CAPER on the HCD site. If you go to hcd.ca.gov and then click on the header Policy and Research, then click on the tab Federal Plans and Reports, you will find the draft CAPER. Someone is going to drop a link to the CAPER in the chat box. I will now move on to the next slide. This is how to submit comments. Submitting a comment is easy. You can submit a comment using standard mail, email, or phone. If submitting your comment by mail, please use the address above. It is the 651 Bannon Street, Suite 400, and make sure to address it to HUD Reporting. Please email any comments or questions to the inbox federalreporting@hcd.ca.gov. Someone will put that in the chat as well. And then the HUD reporting team will take note of your comment or question and get back to you shortly. If there's any need for accessibility or accommodations, you can also email that federal reporting inbox, and we will assist you with that. And then Thank you all for joining us today and for your attendance in this public hearing. We appreciate everyone's feedback and attentiveness to what we're doing here at the Division of Federal Financial Assistance. Thank you again for your time and your engagement. I'm going to pass it over to Sam, and she's going to address any questions, comments, or feedback on today's material. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexis. All right, so this concludes our public hearing today. We will now leave the meeting open for a couple of minutes to allow for additional questions or comments. And you are welcome to leave the meeting at this time if you have no questions or wanted to stay on to listen to the communication that goes on. But yeah, so have a great day if you're leaving, and you can pop the question in the chat and we will answer questions as they come in. Thank you. Again, I'll just let everybody know we're just leaving the chat open for a couple of minutes just to make sure there's no last minute questions. And we actually received one. Were you unable to distribute all of the rental assistance funds because you couldn't find qualified applicants? Do we have somebody on the call to address that?
Thank you. In terms of ESG, with rental assistance, the challenge is not so much finding recipients. We can always find those. The challenge is meeting the federal requirements for rent control and rent amounts in California. As many of you know, California rents are sky high compared to other areas. And oftentimes the rents are too high to qualify for the rental assistance funding. It is something that we work on each year with our grantees, but it is an ongoing challenge in California.
Thank you, Robert, for that question.
And this is Felicity Gosser. I'll just also add another reason that there is a mismatch, a little bit of a mismatch between the goal that was set, was that it was set in 2019, and these outcomes are for 2024. So as we all know, as Anthony alluded to, the amount of people that we could assist with the amount of funds that we have is a little mismatched because of increases in rent since 2019 during the COVID pandemic. And then, of course, with the various disasters that California has had, that has made rents go up. So there's a little bit of a lag in terms of adjusting those goal outcome indicators for the realities faced in the marketplace. But as Anthony said, we do work with our grantees to troubleshoot for that. And then we also have sought some relief to some of the limitations that are placed on the ESG program and have gotten waivers to allow for just cost reasonableness to be the limitation on how much can a particular grantee can charge for rent, rather than being limited to the fair market rents, which can be fairly lagging in some marketplaces. So those are some of, as Anthony said, and I just wanted to piggyback on that with some of the factors that cause that disconnect.
Thank you for listening. And Anthony. All right, well, thank you all for participating in our consolidated annual performance and evaluation report public hearing. Seeing that there's no questions at this time, we'll go ahead and close out the meeting. If you do have questions, please be sure to use our federal reporting at hcd.ca.gov to send us your questions. And you will also find that on the CAPER, and all of that is in the chat. We actually put the link to the draft along with the address, phone number, and email. So feel free to get a hold of us that way.
Sam, can I just add, just to clarify, we welcome both questions and comments. So if you just have a comment in response to the information provided in the CAPER, we welcome public comment as well. So I just wanted to clarify that, and feedback, as it says on the slide there.